Deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia is turning into a war of words between the Trump administration, the Salvadoran government, and Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen.
So the senator is in El Salvador right now. He's already been denied access to go to the notorious prison where Abrego Garcia is being held. And now we're hearing from Attorney General Pam Bondi. She's doubling down, saying that the 29-year-old father and husband will never come back to Maryland.
7 News' John Gonzalez was part of a media video conference call with Senator Chris Van Hollen from El Salvador. And John, not even 24 hours in, and the senator is facing some big hurdles.
Yeah, he has faced so many roadblocks already there in El Salvador that he says he might have to return to Central America next week, hoping to go back with maybe a group of senators. And we're also hearing that he might be back here at Dulles as early as today. We're working to confirm his flight schedule. Now, there is that war of words, and one word that has become very contentious is facilitate. Both sides have been going back and forth on exactly what the U.S. Supreme Court meant last week when it unanimously voted and ruled that the United States government has to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Now, Attorney General Pat Bondi has more of a defiant tone this week. Speaking to reporters at a press briefing yesterday, she reiterated that it is up to the Salvadoran president, Nayib Bukele, whether CICOT's newest prisoner ever gets out. Meanwhile, Senator Van Hollen arrived in San Salvador yesterday afternoon and immediately spoke with Vice President Felix Ulloa, but he also immediately ran into those roadblocks, told he needs more time and approval to be allowed to visit that prison.
I asked him if I came back next week, whether I'd be able to see Mr. Abrego Garcia. He said he couldn't promise that either. So I asked him if I could get on the phone, either video phone or just a phone, and talk to Mr. Abrego Garcia, so I could just ask him how he's doing, so I could report back to his family. He said he could not arrange that.
President Bukele said he was not sending him back. That's the end of the story. If he wanted to send him back, we would give him a plane ride back. There was no situation ever where he was going to stay in this country. None.
Now, the senator was not only denied access to go visit directly inside the prison, but also to talk to Abrego Garcia on the phone. He asked the vice president, why is this Maryland man in that prison if no evidence of any crimes or gangs have been found? How the vice president responded, coming up later this hour. Reporting live at Dulles, John Gonzalez, 7 News.
Looking forward to hearing that. Thank you, John. Well, this morning we're going through some new court documents that support the White House's claim that Abrego Garcia is a gang member.
7 News obtained those documents from the Justice Department. The Prince George's County Police Gang Unit identified Abrego Garcia as an MS-13 gang member back in 2019. That's when he and 2 other men were detained at a Home Depot parking lot in Hyattsville. The officer says Abrego Garcia was wearing a Chicago Bulls hat, and according to sources, that means he is a member in good standing with MS-13. It's also documented he wore a hoodie that's, quote, indicative of the Hispanic gang culture, with the reference to the phrase, see no evil, hear no evil, say no evil.
Even with this new evidence from the DOJ, supporters at a rally say gang affiliated or not, Abrego Garcia did not get due process, saying the government didn't follow its own protocol when it comes to immigration law.
Well, we're also hearing fiery words from the mother of Rachel Morin, who was killed by a man in the country illegally while she was out on a hike in Harford County, Maryland, back in 2023.
So her mother says Senator Van Hollen is prioritizing Abrego Garcia's case after he barely made any comments when her daughter was killed.
To have a senator from Maryland who didn't even acknowledge or barely acknowledged my daughter and the brutal death that she endured, leaving her 5 children without a mother and now a grandbaby without a grandmother, so that he can use my taxpayer money to fly to El Salvador to bring back someone that's not even an American citizen. Why does that person have more right than I do, or my daughter, or my grandchildren?
Well, just this week, Victor Martinez Hernandez, a fugitive from El Salvador, was found guilty of killing and raping Rachel Morin.
As for Senator Van Hollen, no word yet on when exactly he plans to return to the U.S. Make sure to stay with 7 News as we follow all of these developments, from the imprisonment of Kilmar Abrego Garcia to Senator Van Hollen's trip to El Salvador. Just scan the QR code on your screen to see all of our past reporting. It's up right now on our 7 News YouTube channel.